The death of Robin Hood. Robin Hood became very old. His hair was white, but he was strong and brave as an old lion. Little John and he loved each other more. They were always together. At last, Robin was weak and ill. He said to Little John, "I'm not able to shoot anymore. My arrows will not fly. I don't know what the matter with me is. Let us go to my cousin, the prioress of Kirkley Abbey. Perhaps she can cure me." In those days, there were no doctors. When people were ill, they went to clever women like the prioress of Kirkley Abbey. They made a cut in the person's arm and let the blood flow out. After a few minutes, the cut was bound up to stop the blood flowing. This was called bleeding. Sometimes people got well after this. Sometimes they died. Little John and Robin went to Kirkley Abbey. It was a difficult journey. It was a few days before Christmas. On the journey, Robin became very ill. He could not sit on his horse. Little John carried him in his arms through the deep snow. They arrived at Kirkley Abbey on Christmas Eve. The prioress said she was very happy to see them. "But Cousin Robin, what is the matter with you? You look so pale and thin." "He's very ill," replied Little John. "I took him here to cure him." Then the prioress looked at Robin carefully. "Yes," she said, "he is very ill. I must bleed him." If John saw the face of the prioress, there was such a wicked look upon it, but he did not see. "Come, good Little John," she said, "I have a room for you. Take up my cousin and carry him there." So Little John took Robin in his arms and followed the prioress. It was very peaceful in this little room. It was far away from where the other people in the abbey lived. Little John wanted to stay beside Robin, but the prioress said, "No, it must be perfect quietness. I will not move nor make a sound. If you will only let me stay," said Little John. "No," said the prioress again, "I must be alone with him." "When may I come back?" asked Little John. "In a few hours, perhaps. Perhaps tomorrow morning," replied the prioress. "I will call you when it is time." So with a very heavy heart, Little John walked away. He went into the abbey garden. There he sat down under a tree. He watched the window of Robin's room. Hour after hour, he waited in the cold. The prioress was a bad woman, Robin was very kind to her, and she had pretended to love him. Really, she hated him and wanted to hurt him. When Robin was well, she could do nothing, but now he was in her power. She wanted to kill him. That was why she sent Little John away. Now she was alone. She made a cut in Robin's arm so that the blood flowed out. She pretended to bind the wound up again, but she put the bandage on so badly that the blood flowed all the time. Then she locked Robin in the room and went away. Robin was so weak that he fell asleep. He slept for many hours. And all the time, Little John sat under the tree in the garden, waiting. When Robin woke, he found he could hardly move. He saw the blood was still flowing from his arm. He knew that if not to stop it, he would soon die. He tried to rise, but couldn't. Then he thought of his arm. He put it to his mouth and blew 3 times. Little John ran as fast as he could to the room in which Robin was lying. The door was locked. He put his shoulder against it and opened it. There he found Robin in a very bad state. Carefully and quickly, he bound up the arm. His heart was full of love for his master and of anger against the wicked prioress. "Grant me one favor, master," he said. "What favor is it you would ask, dear Little John?" replied Robin. "Let me gather all our men together and bring them here to burn this abbey and kill the wicked prioress." "I never hurt a woman in all my life. Promise you will not do it." Little John promised, but his heart was full of anger against her. "Little John, I should like to shoot once more. Carry me to the window. Give me my bow into my hands and hold me up while I shoot. Where the arrow falls, there bury me." The arrow only went a very little way and fell in the garden. "It was a good shoot, master, a very good shot," said Little John, though he could hardly speak for tears. "Was it indeed, friend? I could not see," replied Robin. "But you will bury me where it fell." Little John promised to do everything as Robin asked. "Thank you, dear friend. Goodbye," said Robin. "Was it indeed a good shot?" he said. Then he fell back again, dead. Just at that moment, the bells began to ring for the Christmas Eve service. Through the open window came the sound of the sweet voices of the nuns singing a Christmas carol. But Robin was dead. Never again would he hear the sweet Christmas carol. There was great sadness when people found that Robin Hood was dead. There was also great anger against the prioress. No one tried to punish her because Robin asked them. Little John called all the merry men together for the last time. They buried their master where his last arrow fell, in the garden of Kirkley Abbey in Yorkshire. Over the grave they placed a stone and carved upon it these lines: "Here, underneath this stone, lies Robert, Earl of Hantinqton. No archer ever was so good. The people called him Robin Hood. Such outlaws as he and his men will England never see again.